What's up everyone, this is Pooka bringing you a video for the brand new set that has just been released for the Pokémon TCG Plasma Freeze, and that means three things. Number one, we get an awesome new set with some incredible cards. Number two, we get a top 10 list, because I gotta share my thoughts on what I think are the best cards in the set. And number three, probably most importantly, for the next couple of years I get to make a lot of lame references to that really bad Batman movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger plays Mr. Freeze. So, look forward to all three of those in this video, and stay tight. A freeze is coming. To start off the list at number 10, we have Chandelure, the Fire-type Team Plasma Pokemon. Now, the card in itself, for today's standards, probably isn't the best. It's a Stage 2 Pokemon, 130 hit points, only does 70 damage. But when you look at the ability Flare Navigate, it's actually pretty darn good in a nutshell. Or in a vacuum, I should probably say. Anyway, Flare Navigate allows you to search your deck for a fire energy and attach it to one of your Pokemon. Then you put a damage counter on that Pokemon, but that's still pretty good. You get an extra energy into play, it comes from the deck and not your hand, and you can use multiple in a turn if you get multiple into play. So this could be great for powering up all sorts of Pokemon. Obviously you're probably going to focus on fire Pokemon, but there could be some kind of combo with something like a White Kyurem EX, or, pretty much anything you want, as long as it can use fire energy. So Chandelure, it may not see much play right now, but the ability is what makes it worthwhile and why it lands on the list here at number 10. Number 9 is going to be another Pokemon that we're going to use mainly for its ability, well, probably just for its ability, and that's Mr. Mime. Now, the ability Bench Barrier will prevent all damage done to your benched Pokemon. No drawbacks, just if you have Mr. Mime in play, prevent all damage done to your benched Pokemon. That is a very powerful ability when you think about it. Look at all the popular Pokemon that can hit your bench. We have Darkrai EX and Landorus EX, probably the two big ones. In the past, we had Kyurem with Glaciate as well. And all of that bench damage, which was really why those attacks were so potent in the first place, gets stopped. So Mr. Mime could see some play in some decks that really need to block bench damage, protect your Dynamos maybe in an electric deck. But maybe in the future we'll see more of this. Who knows? Mr. Mime, he's going to be sitting on your bench to protect it. He's at number 9. At number 8, we're going to have a combination of Pokemon here since they work together so darn well. First one's going to be Weavile, the Team Plasma Pokemon, and the second one will be Exeggcute. Now you might wonder, why in the world do these Pokemon work together? They are completely different, and you'd probably be right. But the reason they work so well together is Weavile's attack, Vilify, is discard as many Pokemon as you'd like from your hand, and it does 30 damage times the number of Pokemon you discard. Now, Exeggcute, on the other hand, has its ability Propagation, which allows you to take it out of the discard pile. So if you have 4 Exeggcutes in your discard pile, you can take 4 back, and then just use Vilify and discard them again, and it's an endless cycle of being able to do a ton of damage. So obviously these cards are going to work very well together. It has been an archetype in Japan. I'm not sure how well it's actually going to work in competitive play in the other parts of the world, but it's something to look out for. Weavile can do tons of damage with Vilify. You can hit that magic 180 damage to knock out all those EXs out there. So who knows? Maybe we'll see Weavile coming in at number 8 here. Next on the list, we have probably the most interesting card in the whole set, which is Team Plasma Badge. Now, this is a Pokemon tool card where if you attach it to your Pokemon, it turns into a Team Plasma Pokemon. Why would you ever want that to happen? Well, the main reason would probably be to use the card Chorus Machine to get some extra energy on your Pokemon. Some things may not have energy acceleration. For example, maybe a Landorus EX, which previously did not have any way to boost its energy. Now you can put a Plasma Badge on it, and then Chorus Machine to get a Plasma energy onto it, and all of a sudden, now you only need to attach twice to use that big Land's Judgment attack. The combinations for this card are almost endless, and I'm sure at some point somebody's going to find a way to use this card. It opens up a lot of creativity in the game, and it can be very powerful, obviously, because Team Plasma Pokemon have a lot of support. The only time we've ever seen something like this in the history of Pokemon is the Ampharos Delta all the way back then, which would turn all of your Pokemon into Delta Pokemon. But this is Plasma, and this is actually a trainer instead of a Stage 2 Pokemon, so it's probably a little bit more playable than that card was. So look out for Team Plasma Badge in the future. I'm sure somebody's going to find some kooky way to use this card, and I'm looking forward to seeing how. At number 6, we're going to have some more Team Plasma cards, surprise, surprise, in a set called Plasma Freeze. The first one's going to be Team Plasma Ball, and the second one will be Frozen City. Now, you might be wondering, what do these two cards have in common so that they work together? And the answer is that they really don't. I just needed an excuse to get both these cards on my list. The first one, Team Plasma Ball, allows you to search for any Team Plasma Pokemon. That's it, no drawback, no nothing. An extremely powerful card when you see how many Team Plasma Pokemon are going to be in this set and how many are playable now. Obviously, every Plasma deck is going to be running like 4 of these cards since they allow you to search for whatever you want. A great, great card. Frozen City is a stadium card that every time someone attaches an energy to a non-Plasma Pokemon, they actually take 2 damage counters. So this could be great for Plasma decks to keep up with a deck like the Blastoise, where they would use Deluge a bunch of times. If they do that, now they would take 2 damage counters every time they attach an energy with Blastoise's ability Deluge. So Frozen City is a very powerful stadium that can disrupt some decks. As we all know, putting on just 2 damage counters can impact how the game plays out. So look out for these 2 cards in the future, Team Plasma Ball and Frozen City. At number 5, we have a new supporter named Getsis, which has quite an interesting effect. Now, when you play this supporter, you take a look at your opponent's hand, and then you shuffle all item cards there back into your opponent's deck, and then you draw a card for each item you shuffle in. Now, for old school players, this might remind you of a card named Lass, where both players would reveal their hands, and then you both shuffle all your trainers back into your deck. It was a very disruptive card back in that era, but nowadays we just get to shuffle in items, so it's a little less powerful. It's hard to tell just how strong this card will be, since it does depend on, does your opponent actually have items in their hand? If they do, you get to shuffle them in, you get to draw some more cards, it can be really great. If not, then you just kind of wasted your supporter for the turn. So I don't know how well this card's going to turn out, which is why it lands around number 5, because it does have a lot of potential, but it could just end up missing completely, so who knows. The fact that it doesn't shuffle in supporters and stadiums too, that's going to make it a lot weaker. But we'll see. I'm sure we'll see Getsis pop up at some point in the future. It's too good not to. Number 4 will be a card that's pretty much a reprint of an old card. Superior Energy Retrieval. Now, back in the Neo sets, we had Super Energy Retrieval, which is basically the exact same card, but they wanted to rename it to avoid confusion. So, what you do is discard 2 cards from your hand, and then take back 4 basic energy from your discard pile, which can obviously be very powerful in decks like Blastoise or even Emboar. Blastoise will probably be the most used one, with the Black Kyramiax. Realistically, you can now use that Black Ballista attack for 200 damage every turn, just with Superior Energy Retrieval, getting back 4 energy cards every turn. This is extremely powerful when you combine it with that Deluge ability, or even Emboar's Inferno Fandango ability. So this is a card that's going to make quite an impact on the game. We're going to see Blastoise decks probably played even more now because of this one card, and I'm going to be surprised if it does not, just change the way the game is played. So, number 4, Superior Energy Retrieval. It's hard to think we have 3 cards ahead of this, but we do. Coming in at number 3, we have the new Team Plasma Kyurem, which is actually not an EX. Go figure. Normally these days, most of the attackers we see are EX Pokemon, but not this one. It has 130 hit points for 1 water and 1 colorless. It does Frost Spear, 30 damage to the active Pokemon, and then you get to choose a bench Pokemon to do 30 damage to as well, which should remind you of Landorus EX's Hammerhead attack, which, as we all know, is pretty darn good. Now, for 3 energy, you can also use Blizzard Burn, which does 120 damage. It does prevent you from attacking on the following turn, but there are ways to get around that, so 120 damage for 3 is very solid in its own right. Now, the reason this card will be so good is that you can use Chorus Machine. That can help it fulfill those colorless attack costs for Frost Spear and Blizzard Burn. So basically, turn 1 you can hit for 30 and 30 to a bench Pokemon. Turn 2 you can hit for 120. And again, this is not an EX Pokemon. 130 hit points can be difficult for some Pokemon to reach in one attack. So this is going to be a great Pokemon in your Team Plasma decks for sure. Water is a great attacking type as well with Landorus EX. He's coming up again, but he's weak to water. So this is a great way to counter him. And who knows, this Kyurem could make a big splash in today's metagame. So number 3, Team Plasma Kyurem. It might not look like much at first, but it's going to be a very good card. At number 2, we have an item card, Floatstone, which is a tool that you attach to your Pokemon, and it gets free retreat. That's pretty good. So it might seem like a pretty simple card, and that's because it is. But a lot of the time in Pokemon, the simplest things can turn out to be the best things. And Floatstone is a perfect example of that. Just look at things like Landorus EX, which have a 3 retreat cost, or a Keldeo EX with a 2 retreat cost. You don't want to have to pay to retreat, especially with that darn hypnotoxic laser in the format, which can poison you, and you gotta retreat to get out of it, or switch, or something like that. But now with Floatstone, you can just attach this to a Pokemon and retreat for free, and you can swap between your Pokemon pretty freely. Obviously, the best use for this card is going to be with Garbodor, with that Garbotoxin ability. You do need a Pokemon tool in order to activate that ability, and the problem before with Garbodor is that, it's got that pesky 3 retreat cost. If he gets captured in the active spot, I have to play a switch to get him out of there, but not anymore. Now you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Yeah, I went there. And just attach Floatstone as your tool to Garbodor, and now it has a free retreat cost. No more worries about getting captured and stuck in the active spot. You can just retreat for free. The other use is going to be on Keldeo EX, where you can just use his Rush-In ability, and then Floatstone, give him free retreat, and get rid of status effects. And really, it's just like, a lot of people use it in Darkrai decks, but now any deck can use this. Just a Floatstone on a Keldeo EX gets you out of everything. So this card is going to be incredibly good. It's going to change the way decks are built, and we're going to see a lot of it, that's for sure. Number 2 is Floatstone. We'll see what number 1 is coming up next. Alright, just for a quick recap of our top 10 cards so far. Number 10 was Chandelure. Number 9, Mr. Mime. Number 8, Weavile Exeggcute. 7 was Plasma Badge. Number 6, Team Plasma Ball and Frozen City. Number 5 is Getsis. Number 4, Superior Energy Retrieval. Number 3 was Kyurem. 2, Floatstone. And now we're at number 1, which I'm going to kind of cheat again. It's going to be a combination of 2 cards. Thundurus EX and Deoxys EX. Now, Thundurus EX has the great attack Raiden Knuckle, which for 1 lightning energy does 30 damage, and then you get any energy you want, and you can attach it to one of your benched Team Plasma Pokemon. Now this is great for some energy acceleration, some energy recovery, and heck, just doing 30 damage for 1. Well, that's almost expected, as sad as that sounds. But yeah, that's pretty good too. But the reason that this is so strong is that Deoxys EX partners with it very well. The Power Connect ability gives plus 10 damage to each of your Team Plasma Pokemon in play. That's pretty good. So now your Raiden Knuckle is not doing 30. It is doing potentially 40, 50, 60, 70 for 1 energy if you have 4 Deoxys EX in play. That's pretty powerful considering it just costs 1 energy and you get another energy to one of your benched Pokemon. Now Deoxys does have the attack Helix Force, which does 30 plus 30 for each energy attached to the defending Pokemon. You do need a Plasma Energy on the Deoxys EX, but heck, you're probably going to have one. Now the best part about these cards is that they work with Chorus Machine and Plasma Energy, and they can work with every Team Plasma Pokemon you have. That means maybe that Kyurem I mentioned earlier can be played in here. If you think back to the last set, we have Lugia EX, we have Giratina, we have Snorlax. There are all sorts of options, and these 2 cards are going to be the cornerstone of these Team Plasma decks, Thundurus and Deoxys. You gotta think, with all the Team Plasma support that's out, this is going to be one of the top decks in the format. And that's why these two cards are sitting at number 1, Thunderous EX and Deoxys EX. Okay guys, that's going to wrap up this list here for the top 10 cards in Plasma Freeze. As always, if you have any feedback, go ahead and leave it down in the comments. I'm always looking to improve and do some new stuff, of course. If you disagree with my list at all, you can share your opinion on that as well. And tell me if I missed any very good cards. I know there were a couple that people probably liked in this set that didn't make the list, but it's only a top 10. We can't have all of them. Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching. If you'd like, please subscribe to us. If not, that's okay too. Also, be sure to check out our Twitch TV page for when our live streams, well, go live. We stream every Monday and Thursday at the very least, and we stream tournaments as well. So be sure to follow us on Twitch TV to see when you can see some awesome live Pokemon TCG action. Otherwise, thanks guys for watching. I am Pooka here from the Top Cut, and we'll see you next time.